Good evening. Welcome back to the Dr. Diamond Ask Me Anything on Instagram. We had a winter break for a couple weeks. Was on an adventure. I'll tell you more about it in a later date. I'm just getting over the 54 hours and 22 minutes of travel to get back from the trip. So we'll answer some of these questions tonight and get back in the swing of things. First question of tonight, what kind of electrolytes should you take for tachycardia and PVCs? Well, this is always going to be educational only. Can't be one-on-one medical advice. We need to know more context. But often cardiac arrhythmias are due to low potassium or low magnesium levels. Generally, winter potassium levels over 4 and magnesium levels over 2. And how do you test for electrolytes? It's serum, so blood work. How important is sunrise and sunset to cardiovascular health? They're critically important for circadian biology, and your heart has a circadian rhythm, so it is very important. Particularly the sunrise is what primarily sets the circadian rhythms in the suprachiasmatic nucleus. The sunset isn't as important for that, but should be dark after sunset, or at least be protecting your eyes with blue blockers in the evening time. Oops. Next question, how helpful is cold exposure? Depends on how well you can tolerate it, but if you've never been into it, probably start with face dunks first, and then work your way up to cold baths, and then eventually get into ice if you need to get lower, but generally shoot for about 55 degrees Fahrenheit, and 3-minute sessions. Generally need like between 10 and 12 minutes a week for main benefit. What are my thoughts on capsaicin for nitric oxide production? I haven't seen any articles or research on that effect. Is it effective? Unknown. In transdermal males, again, unknown. I've only really seen capsaicin for arthritic processes. But if you have an article that describes it, send it my way, please. What are the causes of a right-sided dilated atrium with no defect found on TE or CT angiogram? Depends on how big the right atrium is. If there's no evidence of a shunt on transesophageal echo, then you'd have to be thinking about, as long as this is not a Epstein's phenomenon where it's congenital, it'd have to be high pressures. So potentially, if the person was symptomatic, it would require a right heart catheterization to figure out exactly why. But if it's more on the mild side, tricuspid regurgitation is generally the most common reason why, or pulmonary hypertension would be something to consider as well. Is 75 too high for ApoB? For an older female, no other risk factors except high lipoprotein A. Well, lipoprotein A is one of the reasons why ApoB would be elevated, but serum is not the whole story. It's what is going on with the arteries. Do you have carotid atherosclerosis, cerebral disease? If you've had a prior TIA stroke, do you have coronary calcifications? If you had a stent, then yes, ApoB 75 potentially is too high for you, and you may want to be under 55. But if you have a calcium score of 0 at your age and a CMT that's normal, then monitor potentially. With LPA, it's more important to keep Lp(a)2 activity, phospholipid ApoB, and IL-6 normal. To keep those inflammatory markers normal, LPA is generally not damaging your arteries. How to start repairing the mitochondria? As Dr. Jack Cruz talks about, light, water, magnetism. Does it help with heart health? Absolutely. Your heart is mitochondrial dense. Approximately 1/3 of your weight of your heart is mitochondria. There may be nearly 3,000 to 5,000 mitochondria per heart myocyte. So anything that improves mitochondrial function for the heart generally makes the heart work better. So controlling your circadian biology, cold plunging is the magnetism part of it, as is grounding. So yes, light, water, magnetism helps optimize mitochondria. blue blocking glasses, when to use the yellow lenses, and when the ones with red lenses. So generally, if you're outside, you don't need anything between your eyes and the sky. But when you're inside, sun up to sundown, yellow lenses, post sunset, you may switch to the red lenses. I'm very sensitive to them, so they generally put me asleep within under an hour if I wear them. So right now it is dark in St. Louis at 6 p.m. So I wear my yellow lenses until I go to bed. I recently traveled for, again, 54 hours. So I do wear summer lenses on the planes to try to optimize my circadian biology on the planes. But typically the red lenses, or anytime the sun is down, you can wear the red lenses. But if it makes you too tired, then just go back to wearing the yellow lenses. And then how to know which brand name blue blocker glasses to buy. Are more expensive ones always better? Absolutely not. I've tried many different vendors in my career of using blue blocker since 2017. It generally comes down to, does the frame fit your face well? And then what is the quality of the lens to be able to resist scratches? Some lenses are better than others. If you're interested in potential recommendations, if you go to my website, drtom.com, there's some affiliate links and discount codes available for some of them. And I've either used all their glasses or I've met the owners who know that they make quality products. All right, so I saw a few questions popping up while I was answering those pre-submitted ones. So what dose of nattokinase do you think is good for lipids? None. There's really no effect on lipids in my experience with nattokinase. Nattokinase is more efficient at lowering fibrinogen, and there is a study out of China that high dose, over 10,000 forming units, may have effect on atherosclerosis, but I've not seen any good data that actually has much effect on lipids. Can high blood pressure go away by itself? Yes, depends on what was causing it to be elevated, and if you can remove that, it can go back to its normal state. High blood pressure is often a environmental trigger, and if you can figure out what that is, blood pressure should normalize. Can jet lag affect your short-term cardiovascular health? Possibly. I mean, it may affect some people having heart rhythm issues. Definitely affects your sleep for a couple of days, which can long-term affect cardiovascular health, but short-term jet lag, not a big issue. But this is why people should be careful on social jet lagging, where you have different wake up and bedtimes on the weekends. You generally want to be consistent, get up 7 days a week at the same time, generally go to bed around the same time, but the wake up time is key. Otherwise, you're going to be essentially jet lagging yourself if you get up at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, but sleep into 8, 9 o'clock on the weekends. Your body's got to jump 4 hours back when you're going back to work on Monday. Well, those were the questions tonight. I think we hit them quick and fast. Just getting back into the swing of things, going back to work tomorrow at Apollo Cardiology, where we take care of patients' heart attack and stroke risk factors and really help them become heart attack proof. If you're interested in working with us, you can always apply online at drtom.com, and a member of my team will set up a strategy call with you to make sure that we can help you with the issues that you're interested in. I'm going to be on a couple podcasts in a couple weeks, and I'll let you guys know about those now that I'm back in town. So looking forward to continuing these IG lives every Monday night. But if you're wanting more details or more education, my school community is where I'm going to be spending a lot more time. That's where I have a lot of my content that is long form, has some AI generated stuff there as well. It's one of the tools I'm using in AI. You get first crack at them in my school community. All right, so it looks like 2 more questions popped up, and I'll answer those, and then I'll let you guys go for tonight. How often should you repeat a CT angiogram if normal? Depends on what age you are when you was normal, but potentially every 2 to 3 years. And then next question, the person says, there's someone diagnosed with a leaky valve. Should they be worried? It does depend on which valve. If it is a tricuspid valve, no. Most people have some degree of trivial mild tricuspid regurgitation. But if it's a aortic valve or mitral valve, depends if it's more than mild. Generally, you'll need another echocardiogram in a year to figure out if it's progressing. If you start to get into moderate to severe territories and the person starts becoming more symptomatic with shortness of breath or heart failure symptoms, then they may need a valve repair or replacement. Can be monitored, but symptoms dictate procedures are required. So, Hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next Monday.